Back around 2010, there was an ongoing debate on what's better, Grand Theft Auto or Saints Row. GTA focused more on realism, while the Saints Row series was more of an over-the-top arcade style. Well, in 2011, Saints Row the third release, which sort of separated the series away from the comparison to GTA, with its completely over-the-top style and wackiness. Well, it's 9 years later, and Saints Row the third Remastered has arrived on current-gen consoles. But does Saints Row the third still hold up, or is it better remembered than remastered?
Your captain is having troubles finding the clutch.
For those of you who haven't played a Saints Row series before, it's an open world sandbox game like Grand Theft Auto, and it takes a lot of its initial inspiration from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. You'll play as a key member of the 3rd Street Saints gang, who in this entry of the series have gone from street thugs to basically Kardashians. Though being this famous doesn't stop the Saints from what they do best. Fucking up rival gangs, robbing banks, stealing, and beating the shit out of civilians with giant dildos. The world of Saints Row the third is over the top, wacky, and insane. You'll rob a bank and pull the vault out with a helicopter, just like in Batman Forever.
Your entrance was good, his was better.
You'll jump out of a cargo plane to catch a friend without a parachute while avoiding falling cars and crates and enemies deliberately skydiving to shoot you. You'll even be able to customize your character's voice so he or she talks like a fucking zombie. And being a remaster of the original Saints Row the third, you'll have all the DLC that released from the start, including this bloody fish shotgun that will cause a shark to appear out of the ground and devour your target. It's a prime example of how Saints Row isn't the same as a Grand Theft Auto entry. As you can see, Saints Row the third Remastered has been visually overhauled and it looks great. The sun and the rays coming through the gaps between the buildings are fantastic. Even the reflection of the sun and the buildings off the fighter jet looks great. Saints Row the third originally released on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, and back then it looked pretty good too, but clearly it wouldn't hold up now. You see, kids nowadays will only play a video game if it looks pretty, rather than looking past if it looks pretty into what's really inside it. Beating the shit out of people with a giant dildo. Outfits are improved, like the shine coming off leather. Even the shark coming out of the ground looks like something out of Man-Eater. Man-Eater review coming soon. Gameplay wise though, it is similar to every Sandbox game out there. It's an open world where you'll acquire vehicles, purchase clothing, weapons, you'll even be able to get plastic surgery. Unlike other titles, you'll play the campaign as a character you've made, rather than playing as a pre-made character, and again, like in all video games released around 2011, you'll be able to pick Troy Baker as a voice for your character.
As long as I'm having fun, it's all good.
In Grand Theft Auto, you're thrown into the world of Los Santos or Liberty City, but in Saints Row, the city is thrown at you and it's actually your playground. People are getting excited about Cyberpunk 2077 and how you can increase the size of your dong, where that's not a new mechanic in the Saints Row series, as you can increase your sex appeal at any time. Not only will you gain a wanted level with authorities if you're wrecking mayhem, but you also gain a wanted level with rival gangs. Just like in previous Sandbox games, the higher the wanted level, the higher the threat. And seeing a rival gangs and hordes of thugs in modified cars is pretty cool compared to just cops chasing you. Now, I did play Saints Row the third when it released in 2011, and at the time, I loved it. And I agree that it is the best entry in the series. But playing it now in 2020, it has aged. Now, Saints Row can definitely be described as an arcade version of an open sandbox world. The gun combat isn't fluid or polished, but rather pretty standard. You can zoom and aim with your weapons, but you won't be ducking into cover. The control input is a bit loose and isn't as precise as modern games. The driving mechanics are also very arcade-like, a bit similar to 2019's Grid or Midtown Madness. Yes, you can still perform a perfect drift around a corner, but it doesn't require as much skill as doing the same thing in something like Watch Dogs or Grand Theft Auto. There's also no real sense of speed too when you're driving or flying. After acquiring a sports car and putting your foot down, you won't have that sense of speed and power.
Speed and power. Speed, 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 speed. Real speed. Ramming speed. Raw, naked speed.
Even in this wicked high-tech fighter jet, is it faster than a car? Well, yes. But do you feel like you're moving at breakneck speeds? Not at all. But don't get me wrong, it's still fun as fuck to fly.
Cars got some more style. Now
Now, for anyone not familiar with Saints Row the Third, this is not only the best entry in the series, but is also probably the best place to start. The story is pretty straightforward from the start, all the DLC is included, the campaign can be played co-op with a friend, and you can customize your character any way you want and more. As the third straight Saints colour is purple, I of course made my character look like the Joker. Or well, at least I tried to. And I think Saints Row could be the perfect formula for a Joker open world game. Insane wacky weapons, you've got to manage a crew, there's hideouts, there's even a vehicle which will suck up people you run over on the street and fire them out of a cannon. There's even 2 different wanted levels for authorities and gangs. 5-star wanted levels could make Batman come after you, or Two-Face himself appear to take you out. Anyway, you get my point. It's wacky, basic in regards to its mechanics and gameplay, but yet it's still fun. It hasn't aged as well as something like the Bioshock series, but if you're fucking around in Grand Theft Auto and you want some more zany weapons or vehicles, Saints Row's got your back like a butt crack. If I were to compare these styles of games to movies, then GTA would be a Tarantino film. It's structured and meticulous, where Saints Row is like a Nicolas Cage film. Giant explosions, over-the-top moments, one rival gang even wears revealing leather and looks like they should be extras in a Blade movie. Saints Row the Third is basically face-off. It ain't as good as something as, say, Reservoir Dogs or Jackie Brown, but fuck me, it's still entertaining to play. Saints Row the Third Remastered is available now on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and the PC.